right, guys, we're here picking up the load of shingles, and I was about to start securing this load, but I noticed something that could have been a extremely significant issue. All right, guys, you will not believe what happened. The truck that I just recovered from Peterbilt today just broke down. Yes, the truck that I just recovered this morning from the shop. I'm here in West Virginia right now. The truck died on the highway. You can't see it. Let me turn the lights on. You can't even see that well from here, but that sign is a highway sign directly in front of me. It says Sissonville, West Virginia. The truck, I was driving up this minor hill here, and then the engine just started losing power. And like, I had my foot to the floor and I wasn't really feeling any grip or traction from the engine that you would feel, you know, when you're accelerating. And then it started slowing down way more than would be normal if you were, you know, ascending a hill or a mountain. So I already knew something's not feeling right. And I started coasting myself towards the shoulder a little bit, because I was like, this is not normal. And while I was coasting over towards the shoulder, the engine cut off. No indicator lights on the dashboard, no problems with the truck all day. The engine just died, just dead. And now I tried turning the key, the engine won't even start. It tries to turn over, but it's not doing anything. It's not gonna cut on. I've got my road triangles out back there behind me, and I got my hazards on. You guys can probably hear them, and you see that there, they're blinking. I just put in my breakdown so road repair can do what they need to do, but needless to say, I am not happy about this, not in a good mood at all. I'm just fresh off of a breakdown. I spent all of last week at home because my last truck was broken down and they couldn't fix it. Now, the very first day of me getting put into a different truck, that truck breaks down hours after I just got it out of the shop. I don't know what was wrong with this truck before or why it was in the shop, but I don't know, something's going on. Not a good time for me, man. So I have 4 hours and some change left on my clock. Well, actually I got like 5.5 hours, and I'm 2.5 hours from that pilot in Wytheville, Virginia, that I was planning on hitting up, and I was going to get there around 11:30 or so, but that's probably not going to happen. With the truck not starting up, I would venture to say that they're going to need to have a wrecker come out here, unless they have somebody that can you know, fix whatever the issue is, you know, on site out here in the middle of the highway in the dark. But they'll have lights, I'm sure. But I really don't know what the problem is with the truck. Like I said, it didn't give any indicators at all, you know, no mechanical issues, nothing sounded funny, no dashboard lights. So I have zero idea what's going on with the truck for the engine just completely die, and now it won't even really turn over. So all I can do is sit and wait. That really sucks. Double breakdown back to back. Hopefully this one doesn't have me out of commission for an entire week, because this time I'm far from home. I'm far from home. This West Virginia area is nowhere near close enough for Mrs. Erudite to drive out here and pick me up if this were gonna have me out of commission for an entire week like the last one did. Let's just check and see how many hours away from home I am here, because I know Wytheville, Virginia itself is like around a few hours from where I stay. But let's take, well, actually with that, I can kind of do the math of that in my head. I'm 2.5 hours away from Wytheville. So I'm like five or 6 hours away from home. So if I'm gonna be broken down for a while, definitely they're gonna have to put me in a hotel. Way too far away to go home. And it's Monday. And I just got this truck situated, minus the few items that you see back there on the bed. Everything else is put away. And I do not want to have to go through the whole ordeal of sorting out another truck, unless I get one of those brand new 14 series trucks, you know, the 2023 models or something. I might deal with that. That might be okay. But yeah, a truck breaking down right after it just came out of the shop. I don't know, man. Maybe I can only venture to guess right now, but I don't know. Maybe the repair crew didn't do things properly at the place that they had this truck stored at. I don't know, but I'm not gonna annoy myself by speculating on that too much. I know for a fact I'm stuck right here and I can't move. So I'm just gonna find a way to occupy my time, and I'll just keep you guys along for the ride. We'll see. Usually with these breakdowns, it seems to be pretty standard that I'm usually sitting around for, you know, like an hour and a half to 2 hours before a vendor comes around. So we'll see. I mean, especially with me being in the middle of nowhere right now. Well, not so much the middle of nowhere. I'm only 2 miles away from the nearest highway exit where Sissonville is, but I don't know how close the nearest vendor is, or the vendor that they're going to send out here to take a look at this truck. So I don't know how long I'm going to be waiting, but you know, I'm as close over to this shoulder as I can be. Fortunately, there was enough of a shoulder here. You guys can't really see it from here. The light's blocking, or the lack of light is blocking it, but I'm at a portion of the highway where the shoulder is just starting to narrow. Like, if I had driven up, I'd say like 30 yards further, I would not have been able to fit the entire truck onto the shoulder of the highway, and I would have been sticking out in the road. Like, the tail end of the trailer is just slightly past that white line. And like I said, the truck completely died on me, and I was able to coast in next to the shoulder. Like, the engine was already done. So not feeling the best about, you know, being stuck on the side of the highway. Luckily, it's not very busy here. It's just a few cars here and there driving past me, and they're all smart enough to get over into the left side lane to go past me, and so I don't have to worry about getting sideswiped as much. But I'm probably gonna scoot myself over and sit in the passenger side seat, just for safety's sake, in case somebody's not paying attention or somebody gets sleepy and they sideswipe the truck. I don't want to be injured by anything like that, but we'll see what happens. I don't think these loads are gonna get delivered tomorrow. Man, we were making good time, but that's how stuff goes sometimes. Check with you guys in a bit. It's around 11 p.m. now, and as I expected, they're gonna have to tow the truck out to a I don't know if it's a mechanic shop or if it's just a wrecker's yard or something for the time being, but I think it's not too far off from here, maybe about 30 or so minutes. I think I checked the address on Google Maps, so I'm going to be staying in the hotel again for the breakdown until they get it fixed, or I don't know, until they get something figured out. Truck's still not starting. I'll spare you guys the details of how they're trying to diagnose it so far. It's just speculation at this point, because like I said, the truck just got out of the shop today, and I don't know what the truck was in the shop for previously anyway. And if you guys see me looking away from the camera so much right now, it's like I'm very or overly alert, you know, just because I'm parked on the side of the highway. As relatively quiet as this stretch of highway is right now, still sitting on the side of the highway being broke down still doesn't sit very well with me in terms of safety. But that's just the position I'm in for now until I get picked up. But I guess from what they're telling me, the wrecker that's supposed to be picking me up, I guess after they drop the truck off at the shop, they're gonna give me a ride to a hotel. And I looked, there's like several hotels that are not too far, like 15 or so minutes away from the yard where they're gonna go drop the truck. So I'm anticipating that this load is going to get trailer swapped with another driver tomorrow. It's usually what happens when you're sitting on some freight for more than a day and you're not going to be able to deliver on schedule. They're going to go ahead and give it to another driver. So I'm going to go ahead and get my BOL ready for that. And since I don't have a car and I don't really want to have to Uber or walk to where this salvage yard is going to be. I keep calling it salvage yard. I don't know what kind of place it is. You know, if it's a mechanics area or whatever, or a shop. That's besides the point. But I'm going to go ahead and take the BOL and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the side box of the trailer. I'm actually going to put it in like a plastic bag as well to protect it from getting wet, just in case. That way, if a driver comes to swap this trailer while I'm broken down, they can get the BOL. It's not locked in the truck or anything, and I don't have to be there when they come to do the trailer swap. I'm going to go ahead and also count the securement items that are on the load that I currently have, which isn't a ton since it's just shingles. So it's just going to be some 4-inch straps, a couple of 2-inch straps, the ratchets, and the edge protector. So I'm going to get a quantity count on that stuff so I can just go ahead and send it to whatever driver comes to pick up the trailer, if that happens, and I can just text message them what they need to leave behind on their empty, so that I'm not missing out on any securement items. It's the same thing that I did for the trailer that I had to drop last week when I was waiting on the initial breakdown. So that's just something to think ahead on, guys. If you're ever broken down, you know, make sure your BOL, or if you're broken down and you're away from your truck, like your truck's going to be down for, you know, more than a day and you're at a hotel, just make sure that you have your stuff set up so that when the next driver comes around to pick up your trailer, you know, things are going to be easy. Sometimes when you're broken down, you may be waiting at the dealership that the truck's getting worked on at, whether it's like a Kenworth or a Peterbilt or what have you. If they have a driver's lounge, some of them have driver's lounges where, you know, some guys like to sleep there overnight, but a lot of guys will get a hotel. Like, I'd rather be in a hotel than sleeping in a driver's lounge. If you're at the driver's lounge, you can go ahead and, you know, just walk outside and help the other driver do the trailer swap, as far as like swapping your equipment over. But I'm gonna rest, you know, if I'm gonna be not working until they get this fixed. So go ahead and set this up and just wait. I'm sure it's gonna be around midnight by the time I actually get to this hotel here. And I don't know how long I'm gonna be broken down for this time. That's just wild. I've never had that happen before. Pick up a truck and it breaks down the very first day that you get it out. That's crazy, but that's the nature of the beast sometimes. When you're dealing with anything mechanical, you know, it can break down at any time. So I'm not gonna dwell on it too much, guys. I will resume things once we get some traction, when we see the wrecker pull up, and we'll see about getting to this hotel. And I'm gonna keep on watching this side view mirror to make sure that I am prepared, or I can at least, you know, try to get out of the way if I get clipped. But I really don't think that's gonna happen. You know, there's plenty of space for people to move over to the left and get away from me. So let's see what's going on. Oh, you know what? Another thing, packing an overnight bag. Packing an overnight bag, since I'm gonna be at a hotel. You know, I packed a few changes of clothes, and also have to clear out the relatively small amount of food that I have in my cooler here. Since I'm not going to be with my truck, it wouldn't make any sense for me to leave my food in here, because the electricity on the truck is going to be turned off and my food will go bad, and I don't want that. So I'm sure the hotel that I'm going to is going to have you know, one of those miniature refrigerators in it, and I'll be able to put my stuff in there. And fortunately, I was only planning on being on the road for 1 week, so I don't have my cooler completely loaded up with food. So I don't have to worry about a capacity issue and wasting anything, you know, not being able to keep it cold enough. Yeah, that's just something you gotta keep in mind, guys, when you have a breakdown. Just think about all the small stuff, because I know sometimes when guys are dealing with stuff like this, you know, they'll be a little bit disoriented, or they'll be agitated or annoyed, and, you know, they'll miss the small details. You know, like, you don't want to leave your truck, go to like a hotel or whatever and you forgot, you know, any food items or anything important that you won't be able to easily go and get since you're away from the truck. But yeah, we'll catch up with you guys in a little bit, hopefully get ourselves out of here and get some more rest, I guess. All right guys, we're back and it just keeps getting better and better. The wrecker got here and he took a look at everything and he told me that only one of the truck's fuel tanks is hooked up, and of course that's the one that went empty. So it's the one on the driver's side and it went empty, that's why the truck shut off. So the sensor for the truck, the fuel sensor, is connected to the fuel tank on the passenger side that is not connected to the fuel line. So the truck is not drawing any fuel from the passenger side tank, and I have no idea why the passenger side tank is not connected. I don't know. I'm assuming that took place at the Peterbilt dealership that I picked this truck up from this morning for whatever reason, whatever they did to it before I got there with whatever issues it was there for before, I don't know, but needless to say, that's very bad. So I had no idea that I was nearly empty on one tank, because as I showed you guys, well, actually I don't know if I showed you guys earlier or not, but let me go ahead and do it now so you guys don't think that I'm crazy or I'm fibbing to you. Let me show you guys what the fuel tanks are saying. Fuel tanks are saying that there's over 3/4 of a tank in the truck right now. But as I said, that reading is for the passenger side tank that is connected to the fuel sensor but not connected to the fuel line, so it would actually draw fuel into the engine from there. So also on top of that, it looks like there's a drip coming from there. I don't know if it got welded or something, I don't know. I'm starting to get sleepy. It's like almost 12:30 right now, so today just turned into like a bomb. A bomb in a major way because of all this silly stuff that's going on right now. But I want to show you guys the reality of being a truck driver from time to time. You know, stuff like this happens, so I don't want to sugarcoat it. Like I've said in other videos, you know, I show you guys how life really is out here, or it can be. You know, I'm not dealing with breakdowns and trouble like this all the time, but things pop up. This is probably one of the trickier ones. I wouldn't say it's one of the worst ones, because breakdowns that I've had in the past where I've had to switch trucks out entirely, those are the worst ones. I think the one I had last week is probably one of the worst ones. The truck was down for an entire week and they still didn't figure out what was wrong with it, which led me to get this one. But you all already know the story behind that. So I don't know what they're gonna try to have me do. I think that, oh gosh, I'm getting sleepy, but I guess the wrecker that came out of here did not have any fuel on his truck to add any fuel to my tanks, because I guess they were not sure if that was the problem or not. I don't know. So what they're saying is another guy from their company is supposed to be coming out here to bring some fuel, to put some in to get me going. And I'm thinking road repair. They're wanting me to drive somewhere to get to a safe spot for the night, but where I am currently in West Virginia, there's like no man's land. There are no truck stops anywhere near where I am, and I already looked at Trucker Path, and pretty much all of the truck stops along my way are already filled up, according to what Trucker Path information is saying. Just about up to the Fort Chiswell, Withville area that I was originally planning to park at for the night, and that's 3 hours away, and it's, like I said, almost 12:30, and it's going to be later than that by the time that other wrecker guy or whatever their company they're coming from brings the fuel. And needless to say, I'm not gonna try to push anything and drive till like 3:30 in the morning to get to Withville. I'm not gonna do it, so got to figure out some arrangements or something like that, or I'll have to get with road repair and, you know, see if they can, you know, guide me to something safe, because I'm not gonna drive tired, man. This is not my normal hours for being out driving and working, so we'll get it done somehow. We'll get something done, but we're gonna be safe about it. I'm not gonna do anything silly. I'll catch you guys on the next update. I'll keep you all posted. With that also being the case, with me being out so late right now, I've got 5.5 hours on my clock right now for driving. But if I start driving to get out of this area here, I'm on the shoulder of the highway, that's gonna restart my clock. That means I'm gonna have to do a 10-hour break or an 8-hour break wherever I am stopped at. That's completely blowing up my schedule for tomorrow. And this load is definitely not gonna get delivered by the time limit. It needed to be delivered, one half of the load needed to be delivered before or by 1 p.m. and the other half needed to be delivered by 2 p.m. and I don't think that's gonna happen with the way my hours are gonna be all messed up because of this situation right here. So realistically, that's kind of like the last priority of mine, you know, getting this load delivered right now. I want to get somewhere where I can safely sleep and rest, and then we'll deal with those other problems tomorrow. You know, I'll let my fleet manager know that all this stuff is going on. I'll send him a message when I park for the night. That way he'll know, and we'll go from there with all of that. Man, that really it really sucks really bad. But I'll update you guys once we have some more traction on this. Thumbs down, super lame tonight. Got the truck started. They were doing what mechanics do down there, and then they added 20 gallons of fuel to the tank that is empty, or that was empty, the driver's side. 20 gallons isn't going to get me very far. I think these trucks get roughly 6 or 7 miles to the gallon, so it's like 120 miles, I believe, something close to that. There is a small mom and pop truck stop about 30 minutes from here. I need to go there and fuel up. It's not a pilot, but since this is like an extreme circumstance, road repair authorizes you to get some fuel, and they're gonna authorize me, I'm pretty sure, to fill up that entire driver's side, since that's the only fuel I'll be able to draw from. I don't know about the delivery. I'm pretty certain that I'm not gonna be able to make this delivery tomorrow with the way my clock's about to be messed up for tomorrow, because it's 1:30 a.m., 1:35, and I'm about to go ahead and start the clock up by driving to get this fuel, because I can't have this truck dying on me again. Just waiting on these repair guys to finish this paperwork so I can sign that and be on my way. I mean, that's just with me going to get some fuel. I don't know if there'll be any available parking spots at the fueling station that I'm going to. Hopefully there is, so I can just cut it off for the night, you know, and just let that be it. I mean, it almost reached to the time where I would be sitting here for 8 hours. I'd have an 8-hour break, and I'm pretty sure I'd be able to make it all the way to the Constantine, but that would require me driving the rest of the night probably, because it's saying if I were to drive this way, I'd get there at 7:15, and I am 5 hours 36 minutes away from the Constantine, and I have 5 hours and 29 minutes of drive time on my clock right now. So it's so close. So close. But even if that's the case though, I would be able to make it, or I would have been close to making it to one of the Constantines, and then I would have run out of time. I wouldn't be able to drive the 10 minutes to the next one. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Hopefully these guys hurry up, or otherwise I'm going to be sitting here. I'm going to burn up the 20 gallons that they just put in here waiting for them to get their paperwork together. Good morning. That's right. Good morning. Last time I checked in with you guys, it was around 2:30 or so a.m. I believe, and it's daytime now, or morning time. It's about 7 a.m. and I drove all night from the point of the last check-in, after I got that paperwork, I drove to Fort Chiswell. Not because I wanted to. Definitely not because I wanted to. Like how I told you guys before, I was in no man's land, and it was a long stretch from where I was to where I currently am, and there was like no available truck parking spots at all. You know, I drove from that spot where I was through Beckley, and it's just little mom and pop truck stops that were already completely full. I drove like 30 minutes to that first truck stop where I was able to fill up the driver's side tank. So that part was cool, but I had nowhere else to go. Like the closest parking spots that were available that I knew for sure I would be able to get something was right here. And the time that I rolled in, like I said, 6:30, is pretty much the time in the morning where a lot of the early riser truck drivers are leaving. As you can see, there's a bunch of empty spots over here now at the Pilot. So I'm not going to be doing any driving at all today. My clock's not going to refresh until like 2:30 this afternoon if I do an 8-hour break, and 4:30 if I do a full 10. And the consignee for the first and second load, their receiving hours end at 1 and 2 p.m. today. So I wouldn't even be able to get there if I wanted to, because I'm still 3 hours away at this point. So today is kind of a wash. Well, not kind of, it definitely is. I'm not gonna be able to make those deliveries at all. I'm gonna be here doing my reset. I need to get some sleep. My circadian rhythm is kind of like switching around, or not really switching, but it's got me on alert awake mode right now because the sun's coming up. Like I told you, I'm normally the kind of person that wakes up early, but like I was up all night driving here. I mean, it was like 3 hours from where I broke down, but I had all that wait time while the repair techs were, you know, trying to get the truck going again, because the truck didn't start up right away when they put some fuel in there. They had to do some stuff with like adding some fuel to the filter as well, and you know, getting the system primed and everything. So that took a while. Then I was sitting there waiting for their paperwork. Like I said, I sat there waiting for the paperwork. They were doing it on a little handheld device or something like that, and I sat there waiting for like 30 minutes to be able to sign the paperwork so I could go. So I mean, I was awake for a very, very long time, and I'm about to go in that bunk and pass out. And I'll just be hanging out here at the Pilot. I'm pretty sure I already messaged my fleet manager. He's not in the office yet because he is on Central Time, so he's probably still in bed right now, sleeping like I should be, or I should have been. But we got here safely, didn't have any problems on the road, and we pulled a third shift. I want to go to sleep, guys. I'm gonna check in with you probably tomorrow, or whenever it is that I end up getting back on the road to get close for this delivery tomorrow. So I would say good night, but it's more like good morning for me. I'm gonna hop in the bed, get some sleep. I'm not even hungry right now. To the bed I go. All right, guys, good evening now. It is 6:57. We're still at the truck stop that we were at this morning. I'm actually about to leave now to go to the consignee for this double stop delivery. It's 3 hours away, so that's easily manageable if they have on-site parking. So by my understanding, what I'm gonna do is deliver this double shipment of shingles here, and then road repair wants me to get routed to a terminal so that they can repair, or not repair, but replace the passenger side fuel tank with a functional one and get everything hooked up how it's supposed to be. The backstory of how all of that came to be and how it's messed up, I don't know, and I don't really care to ask. road repair guys are probably going to be talking to the dealership where the truck was stored, I'm sure, to find out what happened and why it was left that way. I'm quite certain of that. I'm not going to let myself be too riled up by that because I got to stay focused. So all that stuff was out of my control. I didn't cause that problem, and you know, nothing I can do to fix it myself other than, you know, what I'm planning on doing here, taking the truck to a terminal, which is going to be kind of helpful because I need to swing by a terminal anyway to get a few of the securement items that weren't on this truck, like a winch bar and a couple pieces of dunnage and you know, padded tarp and a few other minor things. So it saves me a trip of having to, you know, go out of route to go to the terminal. It's not under the most ideal circumstances, but, you know, it is what it is, and we got to deal with the situation at hand the best way that we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rolling. Just waiting for my pre-trip time on my Trimble to be up, the 10 minutes that you gotta sit, because I already walked around the truck, did my pre-trip under the hood and all that standard stuff that you got to do. So just waiting on that. We'll be done. We'll probably get parked there at the consignee around 10:15, I believe, because we don't have to stop. We'll be able to drive straight there. And I made sure when I came in to this truck stop this morning, I fueled up that one good side, the driver's side tank, to full capacity, because that's all I have to run off of. So I have to make sure that I do not let that get low. So that fuel tank, both of them actually, they hold 100 gallons. And I was told that the trucks get roughly 6 to 7 miles per gallon. So that's plenty for me to drive for a while, but I'm gonna use my odometer. The odometer in these trucks, there's 4 different odometers that you can use. They're A, B, C, and D. So I'm gonna tally one at 0, and I'm gonna keep an eye on that to see how many miles I've driven, so that way I can mentally keep track of how much fuel should be in that tank and not let that number go too low. So without me stopping at a pilot to refuel again. So I'll have to do that, I'm sure, like one time probably before I get to the Gaston terminals, where I'm assuming they're going to send me. That would make sense because I'm going to be in North Carolina. It's only you know, a few hours away from the Gaston terminal, so we'll see. But let's go ahead and get on the road here. I got some good sleep, I'm feeling great, and I ate some food, completely fully rested. You know, I actually didn't even feel that tired after I did take a nap earlier. Well, actually, I went to sleep for a few hours, and I feel good. So I'll get a full night's rest again tonight, and our clock will refresh around 8:15. We'll get unloaded, and then we'll go across the street, unload the second half of the load, and then we'll see where they're going to have us go after that, whether that's picking up another load and taking that down to South Carolina or deadheading straight down there. I don't know, but we'll find out. Let's go ahead and go. We got the first half of the load unloaded already. They received 10 pallets here, which came off very, very quickly.